I'm Holly.
And I'm Bridget.
And this
is Girls Next Level.
Welcome back to Girls Next Level podcast. I feel like I might be coming down with something. And I have like a super busy, as we all do, month coming up. And I'm trying to order something from Creation because usually they have like this immunity smoothie. And I can't find it on here now. And I'm like, what happened to the immunity smoothie?
I wasn't going to get anything, but like I'm starting to think maybe I should just to be safe.
Well, I'm ordering you some wellness shots.
Oh, you are?
You don't know. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So start telling me about something you're doing so I can finish.
Oh my gosh. I have so many like just like little topics, like, but I feel like they're more slumber party topics for our Patreon. But I will make one big announcement because I'm so excited about this. Ooh. And it is going to, I already told you, and it is going to affect the podcast a little bit. I am getting Invisalign.
Oh, no, I'm excited for you because I loved my Invisalign experience. I got Invisalign when we first started the podcast because right around quarantine, I noticed, and I guess my dentist said, as you age, sometimes your teeth shift around,
yes.
Which is who the fuck signed up for that? But like my bottom teeth were getting a little crowded down here and I felt like I could hear like a tiny whistle in my voice. And I'm like, I can't podcast like this.
So we are doing Invisalign. I get them as soon as I get back from my grandma's birthday. I'm so excited. But it is going to affect probably the way I sound and talk on here. I'm probably going to be lisping or talking weird or might have to take them in and out for the podcast.
Yeah, I would take my top one out when I was recording the podcast and leave the bottom one in because that didn't really affect. In fact, I felt like I sounded better because I didn't have the whistle anymore. And it was funny because they give you the top one too, even though I was just trying to fix the bottom. I'm like, okay, well, I guess, it has to match up or whatever. But I felt like my smile got so much more attractive, at least to me. Like maybe other people wouldn't notice because it was subtle, but I'm like, I really like my smile a lot better.
Oh, wow.
So I loved doing Invisalign. And it also like works as like a bleaching tray too.
That's what he said too.
So I think it's great.
And it was one of those things that I've had on my, manifestation list. I was like, I saw myself with the Invisalign. I see myself with like straight teeth and not worrying about these gaps anymore.
Yeah, I think you'll love it. So should we get into the season 3 finale?
There's so much. Can you believe it's a season 3 finale?
I was just going to say that. Like, I can't believe, like, I know we take forever to get through an episode and we've been doing this for a long time, but I still can't believe we're already at the finale of season 3.
It's crazy.
Yeah, season 3 and season 4 are kind of short seasons though.
Season 5 goes on for days.
Season 5 is a long one. And I'm excited to get to it because I didn't even get to it for my YouTube rewatch. So I really haven't seen those since they came out.
I have not seen them.
Speaking of going into a new season, we always do new promo pictures every time there's a season and planning that photo shoot. Not that it's a ton of work, but it's just another like thing in this crowded schedule month that I'm like, ah.
Yeah, I'm feeling all the stuff that you've been feeling. Like before I was sort of like, no, I'm cool. I've got everything. Yeah. These last couple of weeks, I was feeling like I need a Xanax or something. Like, I just feel like there is not enough time in the day. Like, I feel like I'm getting up earlier than ever and staying up later than ever. And I'm like literally doing stuff every minute of that day is scheduled out.
Yeah, and it's all good stuff. Like I put on my Instagram story just so people know, because I know there's things like we're doing Marston's podcast and I have not signed the release for it. And I'm just like, I can't even read through it. And I've just put on my Instagram story, I'm like, sorry if I'm not getting back to you guys as quickly as possible, but I'm so overwhelmed. And people are reaching out like, are you okay? I'm like, no, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm just really like at the max right now.
Yeah.
The maximum.
Yeah.
So this is a great episode. There's so many elements to it. It was the season 3 finale. Like I said, it aired on September 2nd, 2007, which means in real time, as of that air date, we have less than a year that we're still at the mansion as girlfriends. And anyway, back to when the episode aired, which was September 2nd, 2007, the top song was Big Girls Don't Cry by Fergie. And the top movie was still Superbad, but also Resident Evil Extinction was a new movie that week.
Okay.
Yeah. So this episode opens on Sarah getting her makeup done at the Playboy studio.
This is interesting that it starts at, I know I always point him out, but it's just because Kevin was so adamant about always starting at the mansion and ending at the mansion. This one starts like right up in Sarah's face, like doing makeup at the Playboy Mansion. Well, I think it might show the Playboy logo first.
Yeah,
on
it
the
does
outside.
on the outside.
And
so
then
you
it's
know
right
where
in
we
Sarah's
are.
face.
Yeah. And this cold open, I think they kind of want to give you the impression that Sarah's like shooting her final stuff right before the luncheon. But this stuff that Sarah was shooting that day was actually shot in January, and Playmate of the Year was in May. So we're shooting all this in January, and she was doing her pictorial in one of the rooms in the studio. And I was there on the other side of the studio, and I think we were working on Patrice's pictorial. I could be wrong. But yeah, this was shot way before the other stuff in this episode was shot. And I come in and I'm carrying, it makes me laugh, a Louis Vuitton briefcase. And I remember because I love, my Louis Vuitton match set. And I, was a businesswoman now. And I was so excited to get that briefcase. And it worked for me because I did have to have all this stuff legitimately printed out to show heft. So, carrying it safe in the briefcase. And it's just so funny how like a briefcase used to be such a thing, even more so like before we were out into the professional world. Like, I don't even know if people were really still carrying briefcases in the 2000s. I just wanted to be fancy.
Yeah.
And I did have these photos to print out. But it's weird. Like before the computer age, people used to have all this shit printed out and they had to carry like a little suitcase. I mean, I'm sure most of you know what a briefcase is. I'm talking like it's an ancient artifact, but it's just so funny to me how people used to go to work carrying this mini suitcase that was for papers.
I mean, shit, I still bring a bag with me everywhere I go. It has my computer in it typically, my purse inside it, any of my notes that I did print.
Well, yeah, no, me too. Like I have a backpack,
snacks.
But you don't carry a briefcase.
No briefcase. It's my ghost backpack or the Girls Next Level tote bag. I think is really cute and holds a lot of shit. But I always have something.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'm always carrying a bag around.
And then it shows Sarah in the studio. She's shooting different cover options. They didn't end up using a cover for her, but that's what she's shooting. And I'm kind of perched behind Marilyn on a director's chair, just observing. This is another good chance for me to like learn and observe. And my voiceover says, I feel like I've been learning a lot apprenticing over the last couple of months or however long I say. But they put it over footage of me just sitting there playing with my hair and looking like I couldn't be more fucking bored.
I know.
That's just my face. But I'm not that disinterested. I really had a great time sitting there and shadowing Marilyn. But it is a long day. So you are going to catch me like, ugh. But I think they're trying to be like a little funny with it. Like I'm saying it's so interesting and I'm sitting there like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely picked up on that too. I also thought they're doing an interesting thing here. They have an interview, you saying that you think it's starting to hit Sarah that she is Playmate of the Year. And you talk about meeting Sarah a few years ago. And even though she has matured, she hasn't changed who she is. She's still that small town girl with a good head on her shoulders. And I feel like they're trying really hard to like bring us back to when we first met her in season 1. Well, season 1, right?
Yeah.
And it was like season 1, episode 2, right?
Yeah.
And then like they want you to talk about how she's changed throughout the years, but I don't really feel like she changed.
Me either. I feel like she's the same, probably a little more confident. And as we get into this episode, I put in my notes, I'm like, she is really handling this like a pro. Like I'm sure she was nervous that day, but she's really like commanding a room.
I can feel incredible nerves coming off of her.
Yeah.
I think she does fine.
Yeah.
But like the nerves I feel off of her, like I just want to like give her a hug and be like, don't worry, you don't have to do this.
But for this like small town college girl, she's just coming in and killing it.
Yeah. And she's shooting this scene in here with a butterfly on her shoulder. And in commentary, you're like, oh my God, this was the butterfly cover that Marilyn was desperately trying to do. And then you do Marilyn's voice and you go, the soft touch.
Oh, that must have been what she was saying. The soft touch.
Yeah.
She's never coming on our podcast now. It's very Dorothy Stratton coded, though. Do you remember Dorothy Stratton's cover?
No, I don't.
She was in a white dress sitting in a field and she had like a monarch butterfly like perched on her.
Oh.
Yeah.
That just gave me like a weird chill like down to my knees, like a vibration.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah. And it's funny, I thought that too. Not that this is the reason Sarah was doing it, but she has a flower in her hair for PMOY, and Dorothy Stratton had a flower in her hair for PMOY.
I just got that other chill.
Yeah.
And they're so pushing her small town is in the episode too. And
yeah. I know.
And Playboy was too. So
and the crazy thing about Sarah not getting the cover, if you guys don't remember, they gave the cover to a contestant who was on The Apprentice.
I absolutely do not understand this. And this is no hate to whoever the person is that had the cover. I saw the
good
cover.
For her for snagging it.
I still don't know who she is, but I still don't know who she is. And I know who Sarah is, and the show knows who Sarah is, and Playboy people know who Sarah is. Like, why wouldn't Sarah have gotten the cover?
It was just desperation on the part of Playboy, where they thought they had to have like a celebrity on the cover. And not to downplay this woman and her achievements. I mean, she was on The Apprentice, so I would assume she's going after some kind of a professional career and just went on TV to do that. I don't think she's necessarily trying to be famous, but she wasn't like a celebrity.
Right.
I mean, maybe they were hoping like Trump would plug it somewhere. I don't know. Or just being like attached to a big show at the time. But it's the biggest flub, I feel like, in PMOY history, because out of all the Playmates of the year, like Sarah might not be like a mainstream celebrity, but I can't think of anybody who came from Playboy in that era as a Playmate who attracted as much of an audience and now has as much of a social media following, and people know who she is. And now people know who she is and they don't even realize she was a Playmate. They're like, oh my God, that cabin girl?
Yeah.
Because they know her from her online content. And they're like, oh, that's her, mind blown, blah, blah, blah. So I feel like not having Sarah on the cover in hindsight, I mean, and we at the time thought she should have been on the cover, of course, but biggest flub in PMOY history.
Playboy fucked that up.
100%. And she did have a cover as a college girl, but
but that was a no-name thing.
Like, and that was before people knew her from Girls Next Door.
Right. That was before everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like the college issue, I feel like, any cover is amazing, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like the college issue can kind of just be like any girl. This is just like some college girl.
Yeah.
Not that that's bad or anything like that, but being on the cover as Playmate of the Year.
Yeah.
That's a name. That's like
or even if they would have found some way to sneak her on the cover, because they would do that with other people too, like Hope and Tiffany Fallon, like found their way onto other covers. If they would have found some way to sneak Sarah onto some other cover after she was known for Girls Next Door, that would have been really cool too, because people did know who she was. And they were constantly putting her on the cover of like the Playboy catalog and stuff.
Yeah.
I just think it's like such a missed opportunity.
They blew it.
Because if anybody was the fourth girl next door, it was her. You know what I mean? Like, people really loved her. And you can really see why in this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, they blew it.
90% of Americans are nutrient deficient. That's why I think a supplement routine is so important. You guys have probably heard me talk about my supplement routine before. I take so many things in the morning. So I was so relieved to find Gem, the first real food multivitamin, because they're delicious little bites that I can just pop in my mouth. And that eliminated a lot of other pills I had to take in the morning. So such a relief. Gem is on a mission to make food as medicine real through bite-sized nutrition solutions that are simple and delightful to digest. Gem's Daily Bite is a functional daily multivitamin formulated for proper absorption, packed with 20 plus nutrients, prebiotics, and probiotics, all in one delicious real food bite for foundational health. They contain beta-glucan, a soluble fiber that can help increase GLP-1 levels. Bites are designed to fill your nutritional gaps and use real food your body intuitively absorbs best. Gem sources organic ingredients whenever possible and has nothing artificial. All bites are vegan, gluten-free, and soy-free. They even worked with a pastry chef to make sure each bite is as delicious as it is nutritious. It's backed by science. They formulate with nourishing ingredients that are individually backed by clinical and scientific studies to ensure your body gets exactly what it needs every single day. If you want to give the first real food multivitamin a try, head to dailygem.com/nextlevel or enter next level at checkout for 30% off your first order. That's daily, quince.com/nextlevel or enter next level at checkout for 30% off. So she's posing on a hammock and I'm like, oh my God, I want to go swing on that. So I go and take
Marilyn
a dive.
says, go do it.
And I go
and you say, what if I mess it up and I break it? And they're just like, just go, do it. And you go running. I'll let you tell it, but I'm just
I just go running. I dive into it and I knock over some of the lights and they are playing some crashing noises. Like lights like that aren't really that heavy. Like we have them at home for when we record and stuff, but they play some crashing noises. Like it is just.
They do play crashing noises so I wasn't there. But it looks like the entire thing is destroyed.
Falls down. Yeah.
Like it looks like the hammock is like imploding on itself. It looks like all the lights are crashing and probably breaking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just looks like catastrophic.
We totally. So funny.
But are you saying it was not? It was all fixable and they were able to keep.
Oh, easily fixable. It's like, when we're at my house recording, like the kind of lights that are in there, like you just pick it back up again.
Those are just little puff lights.
Yeah. Like the crashing noises were not indicative of like the actual weight and the actual breakage potential.
Yeah, because it looks like
there.
In my notes, it's like, what happened? Was it as bad as it looked?
Yeah.
Why was it barely able to hold someone?
Yeah.
But seriously, like he goes over and he grabs it to help stabilize it when you jump on it, which tells me that it was barely stable enough to even do this shoot.
Yeah. It was pretty lightweight stuff. I mean, they would have they put sandbags on the bottom and stuff to kind of keep everything in place. But
yeah.
So after the cold open, we go to your room and it's the cutest shot of Winnie again.
She's just
playing dead.
She loved to lay flat on her back. She loved it. And she loved to be held on her back.
Mm-hmm.
Like she just loved that. And she's being silly. And I'm researching buying Sarah a star.
Which is kind of a new thing back then.
It was a novel thing.
Is that real?
I have no idea.
Or is it a scam?
I think it's real. If you buy it from this was like a registry type place, and there are, gazillion stars out there. So I think theoretically everybody could have a star named after them and there would still be stars left over. So I can see it being a total fraud and I can see it being legit with the right people. So
yeah.
But I have no idea.
They did send a really pretty certificate though.
They did. And they do send a map and exactly like the galaxy and like where it's at. And because it was in the Pegasus galaxy and like, so you get all of that information and stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's as legit as it can be.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. But anyway, I'm researching it and, I mean, it's hard to figure out what to get people for things like this. And
totally.
You want it to be personal and you want it to be special. And, I remember getting I think it was Carmela. We got like the satin sheets with it like embroidered with her initials and stuff. Like you're always just looking for something interesting and good and memorable to give the person.
Yeah, totally.
And it's one of those things where it's not usually like a thing where a gift is required. Like everybody doesn't show up bringing gifts, but we wanted to make it special for them. And so how do you do that? So I just thought it'd be a good idea. And like I say in Scene, I'm always looking for neat, creative, unique, personalized gifts. And I found that. And it must have been pricey because I asked if you guys want to go in on it. Or maybe I just thought maybe they don't know what else to get her either. So maybe we just all go in on this.
I don't think it was crazy pricey though. I don't remember it being like, oh, holy shit.
I have zero memory of how much it cost. But I just think it had to be of a certain price for me to be like, we should go in on this.
Yeah.
If it was like $50, I think I would have been like, I'll buy her 3 or something.
So then we're all down in the bedroom and you come to show us this gift idea. But it's just funny what we all look like in this room. It's so random because Kendra looks like she just came back from some kind of shoot. She has a 1970s blowout, her stunna shades.
Yeah.
And then I'm bundled up in a fucking snow coat.
And you just have your hair kind of like piled on your head, right?
Yeah. And then Saskia and Lindsay are with me because they were shooting their Playmate stuff around that time. So we're just like the most random of the randoms.
Yeah.
And speaking of Saskia and Lindsay, on our Patreon, we've been reviewing old Playboy issues from that era. So if you want to see us talk about their pictorials, that's on our Patreon.
You know what's funny? In commentary, we talk about whether this is legit, like the star thing or not. And you're like, how do we know they're not selling the same star over and over again? I'm like, we will never know. Like, we don't know the
We will
answer to
never
that.
know.
We still don't know. But then we talk about how Ray Manzella was selling moon rocks.
Wait, he was?
Yeah.
Personally, or was that some business he invested in?
Both.
And they weren't really moon rocks, right?
He says they are. And I said, and we were laughing because he got mad at me because I asked him, well, how do you know those are moon rocks? How do you even know those are from the moon? Like, why would anybody buy that? And he got mad at me.
Allegedly, I forget what country it is, but there was like a real moon rock from like the mission to the moon that was given to like, I forget if it was like Denmark or Sweden or whatever. And they're like, oh, take this moon rock. And then they took the moon rock out to test it. And it's like not from the moon.
Oh my God.
And that's like something people bring up when they're like, the moon landing wasn't real. This fucking moon rock that was gifted to another country wasn't even real.
Well, he showed them to me. These were like little, like if that moon rock was real, somebody took it and like chopped it up in a million pieces and we're selling like little pieces of it because I saw them.
Or do you think he meant like it was something that like a meteor brought here? Was it like that? Or was it like supposedly like taken from the moon on our one mission?
I don't know. My memory
like we got to take this rock back and sell chunks of it to tourists.
My memory was these were like little rocks that they brought back from the moon, and somehow he got a handle on them.
Ask
and he's going
Nick
to sell
to look
them,
into that.
and they are going for a lot of money.
Ask Nick to call NASA and be like, "Is this real?"
He can actually call NASA.
They'll be like, "This is not on our show."
They'll be like, "Is this a prank call? You're punking me."
Yeah.
Click. Oh, speaking of that, so sorry guys, total side story. Nick's dad would have had his 100th, he's passed away, but it would have been his 100th birthday on May 1st. And Breitling, the watch company that still like uses his image and does stuff, wants to do like a big event with like NASA and
oh, that's fun.
And us and stuff like that. So I'll keep you guys posted if something happens.
That's so fun.
It's still like kind of, should we not? There's other things, personal things with family going on at the same time. So they're kind of like, maybe we should push it a little bit. But yeah, it's kind of a cool thing.
That's so cool.
And in an interview, Kendra says, I had no idea you could buy somebody a star. If I was going to buy a star, it would be one that you could actually see. And then she says, I think it was a good idea that we bought Sarah the star because she shines like a star and she is a star and she will be a star and she's only going to get bigger and she will explode. And then it shows this graphic.
A clip from Star Wars.
I didn't even know that till you say it in commentary, but I just wrote, shows a galactic explosion.
Yeah, it's when Darth Vader blows up Princess Leia's home planet, I think. And of course, like Kevin was allowed to use all that because he did documentaries for Lucasfilm, which was fun. Like I love all the Star Wars Easter eggs because now that Disney owns it, like nobody could do that now, I feel.
Yeah, but so Kevin loved to use them because this is like
a Star Wars Easter egg.
Yeah, because this is not the first one.
And when we're in the med room, you say we're going out tonight to Mastro's and then Privilege. And Lindsay's so cute. She goes, Mastro's.
I know.
Because we all love Mastro's so much.
And somebody to the side of me, I think it's you, but I'm not positive because they don't focus on a face. You just hear it. Somebody goes, yeah. Like very half-heartedly.
That's weird because I'm across from you at the table. Kendra's the one next to you.
Well, I just hear the voice. I don't know where it's coming from, but there's just a voice that just goes, yeah.
Weird.
And I was like, is that Holly? Because
I might have been in anticipation of Barbie's coming.
You know what's about to happen. And that's the reason they had me saying this. Everybody at that table knows we're leaving at 8:45 to go to Mastro's and then Privilege. So there's no reason for me to just like say that to everybody, except they wanted me to go in there and bring this up because we have a visitor coming with us. There's going to be a guest tonight. Okay, there are so many skincare products out there, and most of them are promising to turn back time. But how do you know how they actually work? With OneSkin, there's no guesswork. Their products are backed by lab and clinical data and powered by the proprietary OS01 peptide. OS1 is the first peptide scientifically proven to target zombie cells. I know, that sounds like something I should like. But no way. Those are dysfunctional, senescent cells that speed up aging at the cellular level. You can only find OS1 in OneSkin's moisturizers, sunscreens, and now in their latest product, OS1 Hair. This daily scalp serum tackles the same zombie cells, but instead of targeting lines and wrinkles, it combats the aging cells in your hair follicles to reactivate your natural growth cycle. Woof! I gotta love that. It's perfect for anyone dealing with hair loss, thinning, or shedding, or if you just want thicker, denser hair. I mean, so many of us want that, I included. In a 3-month clinical study, they found real improvements in hair density, fullness, and overall scalp health. Try OS1 Hair or any of OneSkin's products with 15% off your first purchase. Use code NEXTLEVEL at oneskin.co. I know I've told you guys before how much I love using OneSkin, and one of the things I love about it is how quickly it absorbs into my skin, but I still feel moisturized, which is most important. Plus, I like it so much that I use it not just on my face, but my neck and my décolletage and the back of my hands. All I need is a bigger bottle. Founded and led by an all-woman team of skin longevity scientists, OneSkin is redefining the aging process with their proprietary OS1 peptide. Get 15% off with code NEXTLEVEL at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code NEXTLEVEL. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Invest in the health and longevity of your skin and scalp with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you. Cuts to a limo coming up the driveway.
Norma's outside waiting for the limo, and it's...
In interview, I say, Hef told us that a lot of people were coming out for Playmate of the Year, and there might even be some surprise guests.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, I wonder why Barbie was invited to this event in particular. Like, obviously, I know Kevin really liked her and liked any excuse to have her there, but I wonder why she was invited to this event in particular. I know that I knew my family was coming, and the show was excited about my family coming because they'd never been on an episode before. And my dad was a big fan of Barbie, so I always thought it would be funny to like get them in the same room. So maybe I suggested it, but I don't know why she's coming for this, really. She was never a Playmate of the Year.
No, but a lot of former Playmates come to the mansion for the Playmate of the Year party.
But she was not a Playmate either. Which I was going to ask you about later, too, because they do every year at Playmate of the Year, they do a big group photo of Playmates. And I always felt kind of interesting that we weren't like eligible to be a part of that because we weren't Playmates.
Oh.
But neither was Barbie. She was in the same boat as us.
Did she go up to do the picture?
No, but she was not a Playmate.
Oh.
She did like pictorials and covers, but...
You know what's weird? I'm sitting here and my mind's sort of reeling right now. I don't know if I realized that she was never a Playmate.
No, she wasn't. It was the same exact situation as us. Like she was dating Hef and she did like...
some covers and some pictorials.
Yeah.
I may have known that at one time, but it feels new to me right now. And I'm like, wow. Yeah, the picture never bothered me because, I mean, that picture never, as much as I even wanted to be Playmate, you would think out of anybody that would bother me the most, but it did not. I always thought that picture looked
like a mess.
Yes, it looked like a hot mess. Like there was no order to it. It didn't even look like a fun photo to be involved in. Like, I was not. The lighting that day is always really bad, in my opinion. It's like Easter.
Yeah.
Yes. And I can't stand photos from that day typically. Even the video looks a little better, but like, I just don't like the lighting coming through the tent at all in there. And there's never been a time where I was like, oh, I wish I could be part of that picture ever.
Yeah, I didn't really specifically want to be part of that picture, but it did feel weird to me always that there was kind of this moment where all like the women of Playboy would gather for this one thing. And like, whether you want to be part of it or not, you just know you're not eligible for it.
Yeah.
And you know, like if we had jumped in it, that all the Playmates, not all the Playmates, but there would have been a handful there. They're like, what month are you?
Oh, there would have been. Because
everybody has to like, safeguard their own specialness.
There would have been comments for sure.
100%. And it would have been like the gossip for like a month after.
I like your sister's take on it because she has zero.
Totally. She was just brand new observer that year. Like I said, my family is coming to this. And I texted my sister to be like, oh, do you have any like interesting memories from this? And one of the first things she said to me, she sent me a bunch of pictures she took, which I'll put on the Patreon, but She sent me a picture of like her point of view when all the Playmates were gathering up on stage after the ceremony to take their group picture. And she goes, yeah, I just remember this picture was so odd because you could feel the tension from a mile away of like, not everybody, but like certain Playmates were all like jostling to be in the front and stuff. And she was sitting there thinking, who cares? Like, what are you going to get from being in the front of this picture? Like, it's not that, where does this picture even go? But there's like that competition. And after she said that, I'm like, you're right. I could kind of feel that too. And I don't want to say every Playmate was like that. I think there were so many who were just happy to go up there and stand in the back if they needed to. But there was that vibe of maybe like a good fraction of them were kind of battling to be in the front, you know?
Yeah, I can definitely. Once you told me that, I was like, oh, I could totally sense that and that too. I never like thought about it or cared, but like, it's an interesting observation from somebody who's not, this isn't their like 6th or 7th or however many times we've been to this party now.
Totally.
So like, it was interesting to hear. Plus, there's so many people in that picture. When you take a picture that's like a huge group of people, like it's hard to like even like take it in really. Like it's not as special of a photo to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's one of those things where the picture's so big. It's like you can't even see who's in it really.
Yeah, you have to really look close and really blow it up. And like, I don't know, it just what did not seem like a special coveted thing to go and do. Like I just like
it's kind of interesting as a record of what's going on, but it's not like a personal glory thing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying it shouldn't have been taken. Yeah. Like I think that's a cool idea to take that picture of everybody. Cool. But like, did I ever have any moment where I was like, oh, wish I could be in that photo? Never.
Yeah. And then what's interesting about the Barbie episodes, and I've said this before, is I think it would be so interesting. And maybe if we felt like it, we could do this when we get to season 6 and Barbie's final episode shows up. But Barbie does 5 total episodes of Girls Next Door. She's in every season except season 2, even through season 6. And I feel like it'd be interesting to watch every Barbie episode back to back and see if it because I have a feeling that might kind of give you like an overview of the Girls Next Door story.
Ooh.
I just have a feeling, you know?
Kind of creepy and interesting all at the same time.
Yeah, because things change so much between every time she comes. And the last one I feel like is really poignant. And I think that'd be fun to do. Yeah. Like maybe by the time we get to that, I'll have like a nice theater set up in one of my homes and we can come do a marathon and see how it goes.
One thing I wanted to get back to that you said is why you asked me, why do I think Barbie came to this particular event? And I don't know how that all came to be. I don't know if she just was like, hey, I haven't been to a Playmate of the Year in a long time and I want to come, or if Kevin was looking for a reason, or Hef said, you know what we should do, or if it was your idea or what. Any of those things could have happened. But I didn't think about it even when I was rewatching it. But when I was thinking about recording today and thinking about this episode this morning while I was working out, something did occur to me, and it was kind of my overwhelming feeling. Like and this is no hate on Barbie at all. I don't think it was good for her to come to this particular or be a part of this episode. I feel like it takes away from Sarah. It takes a lot away from Sarah and her story, in my opinion. This should have been about her and her day and our friendship and the growth that, if they want to go back to the growth from the first season, that's fine, which I feel like they were kind of trying to do in both in what you say at the beginning and something I say in the end. But I just feel like, and I asked Sarah, and I'll tell you why I talked to Sarah about this episode a little bit later on, but I was asking Sarah about a particular scene in here that I remember, and I asked her what she remembers from this, and she just said, I just remember the energy being off because Barbie was there. And not in a hate way to Barbie, but it changes the vibe of everything. And I'll get into the specific scene she was talking about. And I feel like I feel bad about that now after the fact. Like, I think during the time I was just like, whatever, you know, the more the merrier. Oh, here comes Barbie again. Like, whatever, you know, and even rewatching it, I wasn't like hating on it. It was this morning, a click kind of happened where I was like, you know, that's too bad. I think having Barbie is important, and I think having Barbie is funny, and I think that there's time for that. But I feel like in this particular one, we could have really had a really amazing girl bonding. We could have told a little more story about Sarah. We could have concentrated on your family being there a little bit more. Not that I think that got, I think they did a good job with all of that, but like there could have been even more with that, and we didn't need, like, the friction in there with Barbie, which is what it brings and what they show, and there really wasn't as much friction as they make it look like, but, like,
She's a good fly in the ointment.
you know what's funny? When I very first ever heard that term, I didn't even know what that meant. I mean, it gives you an idea of what that means, but I was like, what the hell? What does that even mean? And it was after I left the mansion when I first heard that term and stuff. But when I watched this episode with Barbie, the first thing I think of was she is a fly in the ointment.
Yeah, which is a good element to have for a reality show because it gives you some conflict.
It is. But I felt this one could have gone without conflict and concentrated on other things, positive things.
You know what's crazy? And this sounds crazy because there's so much like rivalry between me and Barbie set up by the show. But I almost want to say I think it might have been my idea because I knew my family was coming and I knew my dad was a big fan of Barbies. And I had got him for Christmas the year before. I had sourced one of Barbie's covers, like a vintage Playboy. I had Hef sign it and I sent it to him and he's like, oh, I really want Barbie to sign this. And I'm like, well, you know what, Kevin? My parents are coming to this. Wouldn't it be funny if Barbie came? Like, as crazy as that sounds, because there's like this rivalry set up, I think it might have been my idea.
That sounds totally plausible and almost familiar. So I feel like it's very, very possible.
Yeah, I think it might have been because otherwise I'm like, not that Kevin didn't want her there all the time and not that she wasn't like welcome, but I'm just like, why this event? Other than like, I thought it was funny if her and my dad had like an interaction. You guys know that I think my vagina is my best physical feature. So of course I want to take care of it. And the latest product I've been using is Urovaginal Probiotic. Uro is a probiotic blend specifically formulated to support vaginal health. It helps balance healthy vaginal pH, maintain healthy vaginal flora, and support a healthy vaginal smell, which is so important because none of us want to feel self-conscious down there. It's a blend of 4 powerful strains of probiotics backed by research showing these strains support healthy vaginal odor, vaginal pH, and flora. In addition, Uro contains prebiotics that increase effectiveness of the product. Don't just take my word for it, though. I'm going to read a few customer reviews for you. The first review says, this product does everything it says it will. I'm just finishing my 2nd month. I have no discharge, no odor, and no taste. This stuff is a game changer. Another review says, I've been insecure about the taste and smell down there, but this probiotic really helps balance out my system so I can go out feeling confident and sexy. And another customer says, they have really helped to keep me balanced and feeling comfortable with having a sex life again. The brand that makes this probiotic is called O Positive, and they are committed to breaking down stigmas and addressing issues many women experience, such as hormone health, vaginal health, menopause, and so much more. Take proactive care of your health and head to opositive.com/nextlevel or enter next level at checkout for 25% off your first purchase. That's opositiv.com/nextlevel for 25% off. opositive.com/nextlevel.
So we're back in scene and Norma's standing out in the front of the house waiting for the limo to pull up. Why do you think that is? Usually that would be security. Do you think that...
I think they wanted somebody who was comfortable doing the scene. And I think it wasn't me because I'm at work.
Yeah. No, that's definitely
because I was usually the person who would show somebody around.
Yeah. And they want to give her like a bed. I'm wondering, were they really giving her a bedroom option? I don't
know because I have a few notes here too. Like when she gets out of the car, they show Duke in the window and he goes and turns away because they're playing this very like the Wicked Witch of the West has arrived kind of.
And we're all, and nobody wants to, the only person that's willing to go out and meet with her is Norma. They have to pull Norma out of the office to go meet with her, which is not true, but like that's how it works out. Well, we'll keep going and I'll say more. So Barbie gets out and in commentary, I go, oh, what do you know? It's Barbie Burns.
Oh, yeah, because we used to tease Kevin because my theory is that Kevin had a crush on Barbie growing up because he's right around that age range. And he was just so enamored with having Barbie on the show. So we called her Barbie Burns.
And then she gets out of the car and she says, "Thank you, Tony." Like they're the best of friends. And like Tony was the security and she comes up and has limo. So wherever she was, whether it was the airport or a hotel or whatever, a house that they had in LA, I don't know. He went and got her and has limo.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they were chit-chatting on the way back and stuff. And then her and Norma give a big hug to each other. And that was interesting to me too, because I didn't really know that Norma really knew her. Norma's always in the office, and I feel like that's so separate. And like, I feel like Norma doesn't even know half the guests that come to the mansion, but maybe she does know more than I know.
Yeah.
But Norma never came to like buffet dinners or anything.
You know what she did do though? Sometimes she'd come to like parties and things like that, or like Easter, she'd be there, you know, kind of working and coordinating. So probably had a chance to interact with guests then.
And I wonder how long Norma had worked for Hef. Like,
good question. There's like stuff we don't even know that we should know.
Like Norma was definitely there way before we were, but like how long was Norma there?
Yeah.
She seemed to be really in the know of everything, but yet I don't think she goes back as far as like a Mary or anything, but like I would love, and Norma was so funny. Like I used to love her person. I know there was mean girls that hated her. I loved Norma. I thought she was so funny, and I just like really got her like dry, sarcastic sense of humor. And I thought,
and she's like, great at doing scenes.
Yeah, and I thought she was great at her job. She always was redoing those schedules all the time and taping them to our doors and stuff.
And then it cuts to us in the bedroom making faces about Barbie, and this could be either or. It could be fake cuts. It kind of looks like it, because to me, it looks like the faces are a little out of context, but it could not be, because we were also into very playing up like, oh God, Barbie's coming. So it could go either way.
Yeah, it could have been a little bit of acting, or it could have been a cut out of scene. Kendra, in an interview, Kendra says, "Barbie fucking Benton."
And Barbie's wearing like this satin yellow 2-piece outfit. And she says, "I'd like to say hello to the girls if they're around." And it cuts, they do this funny edit where it shows like you going into your room and slamming your door and me hightailing it out to my car and driving away.
And it shows Kendra's door slamming too.
And in confessional, I'm like, I had to run off to work, but that probably wasn't it. Like, I'm sure when she arrived, I was already at work just based on the timing of things.
Well, in commentary, I say specifically that this is not how this went down. You say you were at work that whole week. You had tons of work to do. And I say that I was literally upstairs in my room with the crew doing a sit-down interview. And they called up to my room and said, "Barbie's here." Interrupted the interview, called in my room and said, even though they knew we were doing the interview, "Barbie's here and wants to say hi." And we were all just like, we are literally in a sit-down interview right now. We cannot do that. And I don't know where Kendra was, but she doesn't say in commentary, but I just think that that's what was really happening when she arrived. And in an interview, I say the last time Barbie was here for fight night, it was a little bit awkward because Barbie at one time was Hef's number one girlfriend, and now Holly is the number one girlfriend, and it just felt kind of strange. But I think also, I feel what I'm trying to say too, and I think I just didn't write all of it down, but I'm also saying like people build it up so big too that she was coming, or maybe I say it later on, that they build it up so heavy that she was coming that first time, and oh my God, Barbie's going to be here, and how's this going to work, and like how's it going to go down, that it really put a lot of pressure on meeting her for the first time. And I feel like now, this time, we may not be totally excited about that she's coming, or maybe you are, we don't know for sure, but I don't think we're like, there's not as much pressure this time.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it feels a little more like, oh, Barbie's coming. Okay, cool, whatever, you know?
But the way they edit it, they show me jumping into my Prius and getting the fuck out of Dodge. And I do think it's a really cute, funny edit.
It's a funny edit. And back to the faces too. In scene, Kendra says, "She's coming with us tonight." And she really does sound believable that she didn't know. And maybe with Kendra, maybe she didn't know. And you're like on your phone or something and you just like nod your head like that. And then I sit and I say, "She really is coming," like meaning going out with us. So maybe I didn't really understand that she was like coming.
Yeah.
I knew she was coming to stay, but I knew she was going out. And then you just like and nod your head again. and Kendra says, "But is she coming in the limo with us?" I don't know why that makes it extra weird.
And Barbie, I feel, is a very good sport about doing these just Girls Next Door episodes in general. And I'm so curious how she felt about it, because I look at these scenes, maybe not the first time she came to visit, But like this one, and she would come back to do more and more episodes, and they're kind of like playing her off as like the Wicked Witch of the West. At least I feel in the edit.
Yeah.
But she was such a good sport with coming back.
Yes.
And she had a very good instinct about like giving a reality show what it needs, even though she was an actress, but doesn't come from like the reality show era.
Yeah.
Where you're being judged as yourself, even though it's not really yourself. But she was such a great sport about it. And I'm just curious how she felt about it. Like, did she watch this episode and just have a sense of humor about it? Or did she just think it was fun and like the attention anyway, so she didn't care how they were portraying her? Or did she not see it the way I see it? Because I look at it, and I'm probably oversensitive, but I'm like, I don't know if I would like that, because they're kind of portraying me as like the Wicked Witch of the West who's coming back, or like the older one, or like the one who's still in love with Hef. And, you know, as a married woman with kids, like I probably wouldn't appreciate that. But I'm curious how she felt about it. And maybe she didn't see it that way at all. Maybe she looks at the edit and thinks, oh, they're playing me like I'm the love of Hef's life, and all these girls just don't live up. So I don't know how she's seeing it, or how I'm curious how she felt about it. Or maybe she just didn't think deeply into it at all, or didn't even watch the episode when it came out. You know, I'm just curious.
I'm so curious too. Is your mom like my mom, and every time you ask her what she wants, whether it's birthday or Christmas or Mother's Day, she just says, oh no, you don't have to get me anything. I don't need anything. Oh, I mean, I still want to get her something, and I still want to make her feel special. Quince has totally solved this problem for me. Everything is high quality, feels super thoughtful, and it's actually affordable. So don't overthink it. Just go straight to Quince. Quince has cashmere sweaters from $50, 14 karat gold jewelry, Italian leather bags, fragrances, and more. The best part? All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. And we all love that. I think I told you guys that a while back ago, I got myself this really soft and cozy tracksuit from Quince. Like, I absolutely love it. And I knew I wanted to get my mom one too, because she likes to be cozy and comfy too. And it's so soft, it feels like pure luxury wearing it. Thoughtful, timeless, totally her. Shop Mother's Day at Quince. Go to quince.com/nextlevel for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/nextlevel to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/nextlevel. So, anyway, Norma walks in with Barbie in the front door, and they go upstairs. So they're walking down the stairs. They walk past your room, and your dogs are barking. And she says, "Oh, that must be Holly's dogs."
Yeah. And I feel like she's kind of saying it just matter of fact, because that's the room. But the way she says it, it sounds kind of snarky. Like, of course, Holly has disagreeable dogs. And I don't really think that's what it is. I think that's just how her voice sounds. And like, obviously, like, that's my room. That would be my dog. But it kind of comes off as, that must be Holly's dog.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing. I'm glad you got the same. And I know, you guys, it's not like Barbie. Like, I know they're editing it this way and stuff. She probably walked by Kendra's door, and her dogs probably started barking too. She probably walked by my door, and Winnie probably started barking too. But they cut all that out because only Holly has the disagreeable, barking, out of control dogs. Of course, those are hers.
Yeah. And then when you said earlier, do you think Norma really had to give Barbie a tour? I don't think so. It had to be just for the cameras, because they get to room 5 and she goes, this is bedroom 5. I'm like, Barbie used to live at the fucking house for like 7.5 years. She knows what bedroom 5 is.
And the reason why I feel like this is a fake scene, she's giving her 2 options for a room. You can stay like in the house in bedroom 5, or you can stay out in the guest house out there. And the reason why there's You would think, oh, just stay in the house. But the reason is there's a shared bathroom in bedroom 5. 4 and 5 share a bathroom. And I feel like there's no way a grown-ass woman is going to want to share her bathroom
with like a 20-year-old. Because I don't
Yeah.
know who was staying in bedroom 4, but it was probably some playmate who wanted to come to the PMOY thing.
Yeah, I don't know who was staying in there either. But
Like, I
yeah.
don't think it was Monica, but it's probably somebody like Monica.
Yeah.
And it shows because just coincidentally, my Olivia painting happens to be hanging in there and they zoom in on that.
Yeah. And they make it look like that's kind of like one of the reasons why, this isn't going to work out. And then she's like, well, I don't know where I would put all my stuff because you guys, and this goes back to a previous episode, this pedestal sinks.
Yeah,
There's no
pedestal
room.
sinks just give you no storage.
So if one girl's already using the room and has like even just a few items out on the sink, there's no room for anybody else to do something. And she makes a funny comment. Well, I guess I could put all my stuff on the floor.
Yeah. And I think she's just saying it matter of fact, but I think there's something about Barbie's voice that makes everything like you could take it a little bit haughty if you wanted to, or a little bit dismissive or something.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so then they say, okay, next choice. And then they walk out to the guest house. And then Norma plays dumb because Norma has to know this already and asks her, didn't you design the guest house? And I'm like, Norma, really? You for sure know the answer to this already.
So it's for the audience. And Barbie goes, I did before it was redone.
Yeah.
But just to clarify, they're trying to set it up like Barbie decorated the guest house back in the 70s. And I can't stand the thought of any ex-girlfriend. So I had to go bulldoze and redo it. But that's not the case.
No.
Like it was like kind of halfway redone. Definitely remodeled, but just not redecorated. So somewhere, I think this was probably because when you stayed in it in like 98, it was still the full Barbie country cabin, right?
Yes, it had a kitchen where there was now bedrooms and stuff. It had a living room where there was now a bedroom there. Like it was full. The picture they show in this scene is what I stayed in when I was there
like
in 98.
Full Frontierland, Dolly Parton's cabin. Like it was
had that old stove where you would like
fire stoker.
Yes.
And
but
so
even in the kitchen, it had one of those old like black and white stoves with like a stovepipe type thing. Like it was crazy.
So somewhere in between you testing in 98 and me moving in 2001, somewhere in between that, they went in and like gutted it, remodeled it, turned it into 4 bedrooms. And I think before it was like 2 bedrooms with like a big living room.
Yes.
But they made more bedrooms in there. But then they didn't really redecorated it. So it looked like a combination of old country cabin and generic. And it just looked like a fucking dump. And that's nothing against anything Barbie did. I think what Barbie did was really cute and themed. And I probably
it was so
would have really liked that. But because it was this mishmash, I was like, this is gross. Like I need to go in and like redo this. I wasn't redoing it because it was Barbie.
Right. When I came back and saw it, I was like, whoa, they really changed this. I mean, and it was just a mishmash. It was half her, half new, but not new in a good way. Like it was new in a thrown up together.
Yeah. And it was very musty and just, what the fuck is this? But I like how Barbie describes her experience decorating that because she goes, when I lived here, Hef threw me a bone and gave me the guest house. Because that's exactly how Hef is. Like you could be his main woman, like Barbie was his main girlfriend, publicized, lived there, found the house, was there for 7.5 years. But he never really lets you be like a true lady of the house where you have a say in how like the main house is decorated or anything. He will throw you a bone and let you do the guest house. Like she's totally accurate.
Yeah.
And then she's like, and then he threw Holly a bone. And it's just.
Yeah. So then she says, it was before it was redone, but it's totally different now. It's totally torn apart. And they totally make it look like it's a diss on you. And she may think it is a diss on you. The way I read it in the scene is that she does think it's your fault. And she doesn't know that somebody else already tore it apart first. And you're just trying to fix what they did.
Yeah. And when we say somebody else, I don't think it was a girlfriend. I think it was Playboy just saying, let's make this more practical with more bedrooms. And then they kind of just didn't finish the job.
Well, I think they just did it budget-wise.
Yeah.
Like they put in some rooms, but they didn't really put a lot of thought into it. Like just threw it together. And in commentary, you say, back in response to Barbie saying that, you go, fuck that.
Yeah.
And Norma says, "I liked it. I thought it was nice." And I feel like it's like trying to do that trying to
Yeah.
create this rift here.
Looking back, like, I think I was offended about it at the time, but looking back from now's perspective, I feel like she could have been a lot more mean if she wanted to. Because when I redid the guest house, like, I think it was an improvement on what was there before, but it was very budget,
Yeah.
and as we have seen with her house, Barbie does not decorate on a budget.
Right.
Like, I feel like she could have really torn me a new one if she wanted to.
Well, I remember being offended by it for you back then, but I watch it now and I feel like, okay, I feel like she's just really leaning into this and stuff and
Mhm.
trying to be like that fly in the ointment and stuff.
Yeah.
She knows what her part is here and what the
Mhm.
show is trying to do.
And I think too, if I were Barbie, I'd be disappointed it wasn't kept the same, to be completely honest.
You know what, you guys? You would be so weirded out if you came to test for Playmate and you walked into this room,
The country cabin.
the country cabin. It
No, yeah.
was not right.
Yeah.
Like, this is no diss on Barbie. I'm sure everything in there costs a lot of money. I'm sure everything in there was truly antiques. I'm sure, and it was totally themed, which I love.
Mhm.
So if I were going to be like in a, you know,
Hee-haw.
in hee-haw or like Pioneer
Dollywood.
Woman outfit,
Yeah.
it would be perfect. But when you pull up to Playboy and you're staying at the Playboy Mansion for the first time, and this was the first thing you see, I was just like, what? It's confusing. Like, I was like, I didn't care because I'm at the Playboy Mansion. I'm about to test for Playmate, but I was definitely thinking like, what is this? And why is it decorated like this? Has it been here that long? Like, I really was thinking that, like, is this like a homestead
Pioneer
cabin?
settlement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pioneered that was here from
Early
back in the
Pueblo
day?
of Los Angeles.
Yes. Like, that's what I was thinking. Like, was this like on the property when they got here and they just like left it as is? Because like, why is it like this?
Yeah.
It was weird. It was definitely weird. So
No, I agree because when I was a teenager and I read Jenny McCarthy's book, she talks about her experience coming to test for Playboy. And she doesn't really say anything about the guest house, but she described it as the Playmate Barracks. That's what she called it. And I had this vision in my head. I wasn't necessarily picturing like super luxury, but I thought, oh, I bet it's really cool. I bet it's like you walk in and there's all this like Playboy memorabilia. And I bet it's like kind of Playmate themed. Like I kind of had this vision.
yeah.
And it was not that.
But then I also wonder, like, when Barbie was redoing this room, what was it used for then? Like, were they bringing Playmates to that were testing to come stay, or was it just extra rooms on the property for people like Peter Lawford and people like that were like hanging out?
I think they were bringing Playmates there, but I think there was back in the 70s, there was kind of like a strain of culture that was like country music chic.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And I'm not that into that niche of culture, so I can't really describe it, but I have like a vague grasp on what it was.
Yeah. Isn't there a movie like Rhinestone Cowboy or something that's kind of like...
That might be a shade later than when she was doing it, but it's like, I'm thinking like Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, like, I don't know. Like, I don't have a firm enough grasp on it to really like throw out all these cultural touchstones, but I have like a vague, or like Hee Haw being cool, which was a show Barbie was on.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like back then it would have been like a niche, cool thing kind of.
Mm-hmm. But not so much in 1998 when they came.
Yeah, no,
like,
yeah.
what is happening
Just kind of
here?
seems out of place.
It's a little confusing and disorienting. Like, you're like, wait, this is not what I didn't even know what to have in mind. So I didn't have something in mind. But when I got there, that was definitely not what I had in mind. And then this though, also right here in commentary, and we need to talk about this because it's going to be kind of weaseled in throughout the whole episode.
Mm-hmm.
In commentary here, Kendra says, this is great. That's great drama. But it's like it's a seed that's going to be planted throughout this episode. And it's not healthy or nice or good. And it's something we don't have to talk about it right this second, but it's definitely something we need to talk about because it's woven throughout And then she asks again, "Are you sure there's not anybody here I can talk to?" Well, a funny thing, and I don't know if you remember this, when she's doing like kind of this right in this scene here, when she's doing her OTF on the fly interview,
Mhm.
she's doing it in that room and she has her purses. She used to make these custom purses
Oh,
and
I
she
didn't notice
had them
that.
on the
The shelf?
yeah, why can't I think of the word
I
shelf?
don't know.
She has them on the shelf behind her, like on display.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah, which is so funny.
Plug those purses.
Yeah, and, she's like, "So are you sure there's nobody here that I can talk to?" And then cuts to her walking in the library and Hef's on the phone, and he just happens to be talking to Kevin.
Kevin, our executive producer, which is a funny kind of fourth wall break that I'm surprised he left in.
Yeah, it's very meta well, because most people probably don't know who Kevin is, so
Yeah.
they're
They
like,
probably
"Okay,
just think it's like
an
a
old
random
friend."
friend in common. Yeah.
Archie is down by Hef's feet, which I think is cool, and because Archie was Hef's dog, but, like, you don't really see Hef, like, doing much with
Yeah.
the dog like
Mhm.
that. With Archie in particular, a lot of times with our dogs and stuff, but, like, with Archie and so it's kinda nice to see a moment where Archie's just chilling with Hef while he's working and on his phone and stuff. She leans down and she's petting Archie, and Hef tells Kevin that, she's there, and Kevin's thrilled that she's there, and,
And they cut to an on the fly interview of her saying, I miss it. And it's kind of framed to be like she misses being at the mansion. But did you get the feeling it was maybe about something else? Just because it seems, I don't know, I just sensed something awkward in the.
well, she starts it out with saying, "I'm a guest, but I certainly feel very much at home here." And then it shows Hef giving her a big open mouth kiss.
The weirdest thing about the open mouth kiss is how I never noticed it at the time and never even noticed it when we would watch the episodes back.
I don't remember.
How was I blind to that whole time?
I remember his kisses being a little wet, even though they were pecks and not like French or anything like
Mhm.
that. But I felt, but I did not realize how like open mouth and frog like they were,
It's very frog-like. It's just very strange.
like a guppy.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then she says, it's nice to be here. I miss it. I did not think there was anything strange about it. Other than I feel like they're really trying to build up that she misses this lifestyle, still wishes she was living here, still wishes she was part of it, still wish possibly even that she was with Hef still.
Which begs the question, do you think she was still in love with Hef?
Yes. I mean, she says in here at some point, I think
I
it's
think
at the end,
yeah.
that she'll always that she loves Hef and she'll always love Hef. But I think, in my opinion, I think that she misses and loves what they had, but doesn't miss and love what she went through and how he treated her, like cheating and multiple
Mhm.
people and things like that, and whatever else went on in their personal relationship that I probably don't even know about. I think she doesn't miss all of that and doesn't regret leaving him for all those things, but she still misses it. Because I feel like I share a lot of those same feelings. And I know he's gone now and stuff like
Mhm.
that, but even before he was gone, it's like I love him, I miss him, I miss what we all had and stuff, but I also am glad I moved on and it was
Yeah.
time and like it's that's over. But that doesn't mean that I don't ever feel nostalgic for it or, don't still care about him or, and I feel like I don't know if I could have related to it at that point in time, but right now I feel like I totally understand how she could have mixed feelings, but I feel like the show is trying to play it like she is still in love with Hef. She misses the mansion. She wants to be the number one girlfriend again, and we all need to watch out because
Yeah.
she could be coming back at any moment.
Yeah, it's funny because at the time, I wouldn't have said she was still in love with Hef. I think I felt like when she said, oh, I still love Hef at the end, I think I felt like that was like a friendy, like, oh, I love and care about this person.
Mhm.
Or maybe she missed kind of like the limelight of that relationship.
Mhm.
But I saw something recently on social media. I don't know if somebody tagged me in it, if it just came on my For You page, but it was some interview Barbie was doing at an event in passing. And it looked like it was in the 80s or something, or early 90s. And they were asking her about Hef. And the way she answered it was this really long answer. And then at the end, she goes, I think somebody asked her, oh, was Hef like the great love of your life? And she goes, yeah. And she goes on this really long answer. And at the end, she goes, because she was married, is married. She goes, well, now I'm on my second one. But it was such a long answer. It made me think, wait, maybe there was some unfinished business there.
Well, I think that if she could have had her way, she would have stayed with him, but I'm not and I
And, like, had a family with him?
yes. Well, I don't know.
Makes sense.
Honestly, don't know.
Yeah,
I
we
was
don't know. We're just speculating the way I hate when people speculate on me, but here we are.
Well, I'm only speculating on just how she reacts and how they are together and
Mhm.
stuff. It's pure speculation on that, but I feel like, in my opinion, she seems like somebody who was really truly in love with him, really gave it all, really thought he was the one, and then he fucked her over, like, by
Yeah.
cheating and doing whatever else maybe he was doing, I have no
Mhm.
idea, and then, and she is a strong woman and was like, "I fuck that, I'm not
Yeah.
taking that, I'm not gonna be with somebody who treats me like that." And I love him, I'll always love him, but I'm not
Yeah.
similar to what you did, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
be a part of that, you know? I'm done with this
Yeah.
treatment and being like this. So, yeah, I feel like, you know, that's what I feel like. But does she miss the limelight and the lifestyle with Hef? I think absolutely. I think it's clear in this
Yeah.
episode that she misses all of that.
So we will be back next week with more Guess Who's Coming to Luncheon. And if you'd like more content, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/girlsnextlevel. Check out our merch at girlsnextlevel.shop. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.